This is Kodiak. We got Conino in the ketamine clinic right now. So it's time for the Kodiak to tell his trip report, huh?
Cody.
Oh my God, America's crazy.
Oh, what up, guys?
Ooh. Just kidding. What's up, guys? Let me tell you something. First time I did shrooms, I got them from Conino. Fixed the stash. And I'll tell you all about my crazy ass story when I first did. Mushies. They were in chocolate. Got them from your boy Conino. But before he was this cool guy and had a YouTube channel. It was back when he had long emo hair. Me, you know, I'm a descendant of Daniel Boone, so I've always kind of had this kinetic energy. The fucking Timberwolf Mountain! It's uncontrollable, but I wanted to type into the psychedelics, so I got them from him. And but then I went home, I ate them, and I thought it would just be me at the house, you know, me in my room, my nice sanctuary, just chilling. Me and the mushrooms, see what they do to me. No, ate the mushrooms, and of course, had somebody stop by like, hey, get in the car, going to the Spring Fest. I was like, sure, no problem, bub. As we're walking out, I'm like putting my sweater on, but like as I'm putting on, I looked down, I'm like, I'm Wolfman.
Looked down, I'm like, I'm a wolf man. My body kept elongating, I was getting taller, and I got my sweater. I was like, oh, I thought it was like this tube of death. I was like
Just out of nowhere, I looked like a big old wolf man. My shirt was like this coliseum of kaleidoscopery. Just made that word up.
Kaleidoscopery.
But we'll go with it. And then we're getting out there, we're getting in the car. And I was like, hey guys, you know, I might have done true. And they're like, huh? And they all look at me, I'm like, uh-oh, should I have said anything? And they all look at me like I'm at Fear and Loathing, and a bunch of reptilians just noticed me. And then they're like, oh, okay. And I was like, why did I tell them now they can fuck with me? Anyways, we start going, puts on some bassy music, and of course it makes me melt into existential crises of flabbergasted serendipity. Let's just say that. I felt like I was morphing into the chair and like sitting there, and my buddy went to go open the window, and he's opened the sunroof. He was putting his finger up, and I with the little buttons in the middle with the sunroof. I thought like some Saw movie shit was gonna happen, and his finger was gonna get grinded up. I was like, don't do it. He's like, what do you mean, man? I'm like, don't do it. He's like, dude, I'm just opening the window. And he's the call's like, oh, and he didn't open the window. So just me, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be crazy. And then we're like, you know, it was a Spring Fest at that time. So we head down there, and we get to the Spring Fest. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We get there, and like we're walking around. I swear everyone sees inside my soul. Like I did mushrooms on a badge on my shirt, and I'm walking around. I'm like, it's not too big deal. And the first thing I do is I go up to this concession stand because I want some food, because it's like, I don't know, mushrooms kind of make me kind of like hungry in a way. I don't know if anyone else ever gets that. But I go to this concession stand. I'm not even kidding. You know, usually if you buy something, they give you something like dollar bills and like quarters and stuff. No. Of course, my luck, they gave me a $2 bill and like a 50-cent piece. And it was just like the craziest. I couldn't understand it. I looked at it, I asked them, I was like, this is real? This is real money? They're like, yeah, but it's real money. I was like, this coin's too big. This note is not of the regular variant. And I sat there for a good few seconds, probably scared the shit out of him because my pupils black is, you know, there's no color. And I go back to my homies, and they even tripped out. Like, and then I was like, wait, is this, you guys are tripped out too by this? Like, and you are on mushrooms? This is not good. And then like I think I left from him with my food, and I was like, nope, I gotta figure this out. And I was walking, but then I was looking on the rides. I was like, never going on those in my life. Never going on those in my life on mushrooms. Never. But then I go by the Sizzler, and I don't know if you guys know what the Sizzler is. The one that goes and it just like pulls you different directions. When I'm walking by, and I look over. This thing slows down at me. Like it goes, and like I see the people, and they even like make eye contact. Like, is this happening? I was like, yeah, I think it is. And then it just speeds back up, and I'm like, just walk. Look down at the grass. The grass. If you guys ever seen the Mac Miller and Schoolboy Q video, geez, where it changes like the colors. That's how the grass was. It's like this green, swimmy color, and like even just like weird, metamorphic.
Drug most dope, just bowl smoke. How
Symbolism of everything being of the same essence,
metamorphic.
you know, molecularly, and just, you know, like I was like thinking I was a fossil at one point.
Metamorphic.
Then I go down to the lake. The lake is more a hill, and the grass is more of a liquid. So it like really tripped me out that the grass seemed to flow more than the still water did. That just was like this blue, looked like I could just go ramparting on it. You know what I mean? Gallivant. And then I was just go back to my friends. I'm like, I don't know what to do about this, man. And I just kept walking around, and then I see Conino. And of course, you know, back then he didn't have a short. He looked like some weird interdimensional elf had just came out the work. She's like, hey, it's gonna be okay, but I'm on mushrooms too. I'm like, okay. And then we just start walking around, and then and that's when like me and him really became, you know, psychonauts. That's when the Psycho Nation began for us too, as little shamans of our time. And right now, Conino's in the ketamine clinic. Of course, this crazy man is able to find the crazy places where all kinds of mischief happen. And I'm just out here, and he told me to make a trip story. And I know one time I talked about like chocolate mushrooms, and then some people wanted to hear about it, so that was that one. But the one that Conino hasn't really told you guys about was when he got that freaking pound of 2CT7. He got it, smelled like onions. It was like this crazy brown powder. You know, he was all happy about it at first, and I was like, me too, because, you know, I want to do this shit. He got 2CI in the past, 25 I know. You know what I mean? All these, you know, designer drugs that you just get for samples or something off the dark web because he's a little fucking wizard. And then, anyways, but we're like also like I just got, you know, the Great White Buffalo got away from me. You know, the girl that I thought we were gonna like go to college together and then like create a life. She ended up breaking up with me because I graduated and she went on to be a senior. But you know, drugs, they make you paranoid, and I think she was like cheating on me. It just got real bad. So she dumped me, and then I was like, that's it. Anything goes now. I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to forget about how bad I feel. And then, of course, Conino had some weird, like, laboratory set up at some hotel with his little henchman that, bless his little soul, he wasn't able to handle the light and the revelations and everything that was revealed to him through all these, you know, these hallucinogens. But I go and he's like doing meth. We got freaking spice, and then, you know, he gets a 2CT7. We're encapsulating it and taking it. And then me and him, like I went outside, and I thought like I was like the fireman, because we were putting this fire in Lil Wayne. Plus, I'm the fireman, fireman. And it was crazy, but I was loving it. And then like I was sitting on the balcony smoking a cigarette, so conscious about smoking cigarettes, because the you know, the little interdimensional elves are telling me, oh, why are you doing this? You know, you need to live a long life and teach everybody everything. And I was just like, ugh. And he comes out, we're standing there smoking, and I'm looking down, and I see the ground, and there's this white, you know, almost like holographic, white, ghostly horse, just like galloping around, eating berries off the ground, you know, mythical, non-there berries. And then I'm like, oh my God, dude, there's little, he's like, before I even was able to say, do you see that white horse? He's like, you see the white horse down there? I was like, no freaking way, dude. And I'd be like, where's he at? And I'd be like, and this horse would be just, you know, galloping around. And me and him both shared the same kind of trip about it. And it's weird because, you know, I've heard one of Terrence McKenna's videos where he talks about when he does DMT, and these little interdimensional beings show him like that like you can make sounds and like you can communicate with anyone because it creates like a 3-dimensional thing in front of you that like kind of describes the sound you're making. But like, and he talks about, you know, when he was in the Amazon, how we'd all have similar experiences. But me and this guy literally had seen the same white, you know, mythical horse, and you know, it's stumped me to this day. And we had this Ukrainian guy with a Slavic. God, he turned into a grasshopper, I swear to God. And then we were watching the TV, and you know, like the infomercials, it was like, knives. That's not enough knives. Here's more knives. For $9.99, we'll send you 10 knives. Sharpest knives in the goddamn world, mate. Get your knives now. And I'm just tripping like, oh my God, America's crazy. Get your knives now. They're just selling knives like it's nothing, and just so much danger there. And then, oh man, that 2C7. Then I left Connors after doing a 2C7. Slavic went his own way. That Brandon kid, bless his soul, you know, he's trying to configure what life he has now after being exposed to so much insight into, you know. And what was crazy is I go to my sisters, I'm like, I'm ready to change my life. And they're like, oh, sure, okay, sweet, nice. And then this is how crazy the Kodiak's life is, you know. The bus they set me up for was at 4:20 a.m. 4:20 a.m. I left at 4:20 a.m. I wish I still had this stuff. And this was back in 2013. Anyways, I get on the bus, you know, my sister driving, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the West Coast, you know, because we were in Eastern Washington. I'm gonna go to the West Coast, you know, big old cities. I'm gonna make myself, I'm gonna be sober. Of course, 4:20 a.m. And of course, there's like this cholo guy that's sitting in front of me. And you know, because addicts can notice other addict behavior and activities, I could tell he was doing a little something up there. So I said, hey, what you got there? He's like, oh, I just got some Percocets. I'm like, My sister, and of course I had extra money because my sister gave me more for a bag that they didn't really charge me for. So I was like, let me get some of them num-nums. Got some of them num-nums. Dude, there's this girl that sat next to me, you know, because I had pills now. She sat next to me, and like I was like squishing her out some to snort, you know what I mean? And I'm like, she's gonna be my girl. We get to Everett. No, this girl, like I'm 6'3", and this girl had her boyfriend who's like bigger than me. Come out, I was like, okay, she's yours, you know. But then, you know, I was staying over there, and I swear, just after that 267, I'd even be, you know, standing outside, you know, just kind of meditating, and then cars would go by, and I would think in my mind, I wouldn't really see it sonically, but like I could tell that like where the sounds were bouncing off, and just such a more crisp and, you know, comprehensive way of this sound and symbolism. And ever since I've done, you know, these hallucinogens, and I haven't tripped in probably over like a year, but like since then, I swear my life has been like a Stephen King novel. And it's like, you know, like how he'll have like symbology referencing to like It and the Tower or whatever, the Tower movie. And like I swear I'll be watching interviews or videos, and they'll have like a clock that I had when I was a kid, you know, just randomly in it, or they'll say something, or like I'm reading this book, Myths to Live by Joseph Campbell, which I recommend all of you get, because it is a great book, and it'll help you open up to your hero's journey. That's actually where George Lucas got it, is from Joseph Campbell. You know, Lion King. Oh, he loses his dad. He goes out to Timon and Pumbaa, parties a bit, and he has to find himself, and then he goes back to the kingdom, and he gets his throne back. That's a hero's journey. Well, George Lucas was Joseph Campbell's biggest fan. You didn't know that. And Joseph Campbell does an awesome job of explaining religions from the ADs to the BCs, from Oriental to Western, from Buddhism to Christianity, from just the whole board of it, even Zen. There's even a paragraph about schizophrenia, because a lot of higher functioning people almost kind of are crazy, but they're not so schizophrenic to where they can't help but hear voices and stuff. But your life is almost like how you perceive your future is almost similar to how someone with schizophrenia would think. And I know this because I tried to get off, you know, these psych meds that they put me on one time at a rehab I went to, and coming off it, like, you know, one of the withdrawal symptoms was schizophrenia, and I got legit schizophrenia, and it kind of made me more depressed, because I was like, the similarities between that and my own daydreaming of what I perceive of myself were almost like hand in hand. But the only difference was is I couldn't control the schizophrenia. Like it would be like scary nightmarish where like I couldn't tell the real from the fake. So, anyways, yeah, it's a great book I recommend, and I wish I could go a little more in depth with some of these stories, but I'll think of a good one. But I just wanted to let the Kodiak be seen a little bit, see how this one does. And if you guys have any questions or have any requests, just let this old dog know, baby. And I'll tell you the secrets, because me and Cordino, we're the shamans of modern time, and baby, best believe y'all need us. It's getting too communistic, too crazy, too sticky. You need a couple Pooh Bears reaching our hand in the honey jar and saying, hey, life's pretty sweet when you're not stuck in a box, baby. And that's all the Kodiak's got to say. And like I said, Cornino's in there getting dripped all kinds of ketamine. And he wants him to go up to 125 cc's with the 25 cc booster after 10 minutes. You know why? Because he's crazy.
He's crazy.
And you know what? He has the means to do it. This old dog had to take care of himself since he was 15. But I shit you not, I'm a descendant of Daniel Boone, baby. So any ladies out there trying to have some alpha children, hit me up. I'm like Ego and Johnson.